Your thoughts are powerful. They can build your character quietly or slowly destroy it without anyone noticing. The moment you learn to control your thoughts, you begin to control your actions. And when your actions are guided by honesty and discipline, your life gains a strength that no external force can shake. This is the story of a boy who learned that true battles are fought not outside but inside the mind. In a small settlement that could have existed anywhere in the world, surrounded by open land and simple homes, lived a boy named Daniel. The village had no grand monuments, no famous history. But it had rules spoken and unspoken. People valued hard work. They valued honesty. Daniel was known as a quiet and intelligent boy. He performed well in school, helped his family when asked, and rarely caused trouble. On the outside, he seemed disciplined, but inside his mind was often restless. Daniel had big dreams. He wanted recognition. He wanted to rise above his circumstances. And sometimes when he saw others succeed faster than him, a small voice would whisper inside, "Why not take a shortcut?" At first he ignored it. One afternoon, a major exam was announced at the village school. The top student would receive a scholarship to study in a larger town. It was an opportunity that could change someone's future. Daniel prepared carefully. He studied every night, revised notes, and practiced questions. But as the exam date approached, fear began to grow. What if you fail? What if someone smarter wins? The night before the exam, while reviewing at school, Daniel accidentally discovered something unexpected. One of the teachers had left a paper on the desk, an answer sheet containing possible exam questions. His heart began to race. He looked around. No one was there. The thoughts began their battle. If you just look at it, no one will know. You've worked hard. You deserve to win. Others might cheat too. But it's wrong. It's just a small advantage. His hands trembled slightly. The paper lay there, silent, tempting. In that moment, no one was watching him, but his thoughts were. Daniel realized something powerful. The real decision was not about the paper. It was about which voice inside him he would obey. He closed his eyes. He imagined two futures. In one future, he secretly read the answers, won the scholarship, and accepted applause. But deep inside, a small crack would remain. He would know he had not earned it honestly. In the other future, he walked away from the paper. Maybe he would win. Maybe he would not. But his victory, or even his failure, would be clean. He opened his eyes. Slowly, deliberately, he turned the paper face down and walked out of the room. His heart was still pounding, but not from fear anymore. From control. That night, his mind felt clearer than ever. The exam day arrived. The questions were difficult. Harder than he expected. At one point, doubt crept in again. If you had looked at the answers, this would be easier. But something inside him felt steady. He had already won one battle. The battle over his own thoughts. Weeks later, the results were announced. Daniel did not secure the top position. He came second. For a brief moment, disappointment washed over him. The scholarship went to another student. People congratulated the winner. Life moved on. That evening, Daniel sat alone outside his home. A part of him felt frustrated. "I could have won," the old voice whispered. But then another realization came. He had not lost. Because that day in the classroom, he had built something far more valuable than a scholarship. He had built discipline over his thoughts. Months passed. The boy who won the scholarship struggled in the new town. Without strong discipline, he found it hard to manage freedom and pressure. Daniel, meanwhile, continued working steadily. He woke up early. He studied honestly. He helped others without expecting praise. His teachers began noticing something deeper in him, not just intelligence, but integrity. One day, a respected elder in the village approached him. "I heard about what happened before the exam," the elder said quietly. Daniel's heart skipped. "You knew?" The elder nodded. The teacher realized the paper had been left out. He checked later and saw it had not been touched. There were only 2 students in that hallway that evening. Daniel stayed silent. The elder smiled gently. Talent can take a person forward, but honesty and disciplined thinking take a person far. Soon after, another opportunity came, a recommendation for advanced studies, based not only on grades, but on character. This time Daniel was chosen. Years later, he would stand in front of large audiences, speaking about ethics, leadership, and the invisible power of the mind. People would admire his calm presence and strong moral compass. They would ask him, "How do you remain so steady under pressure?" He would answer simply, Because I learned early that every action begins as a thought. Control the thought, and you control the action. Control the action, and you shape your character. The real turning point of his life had not been winning an award. It had been refusing to obey a dishonest thought. The boy in this story could be anyone. Because every human being faces moments where no one is watching except their own conscience. And in those quiet moments, your thoughts decide who you become. You may not control every situation in life. You may not control other people. But you can control your thoughts. When temptation whispers, when fear speaks, when shortcuts appear, pause. Choose honesty, choose discipline. Because character is not built in public victories. It is built in private decisions. Master your thoughts, and you master your destiny.